All right. Hey guys, welcome to a new version of Rodcast. It's the E3 2016 version of Rodcast. We're actually here in Rod's wonderful hotel room to answer fan questions.
In a new direction, a more intimate direction.
A much more intimate direction. So we're going to answer some of the fan questions. We actually shot off a tweet about an hour ago giving everyone a heads up so they can shoot over questions. We revealed a lot of stuff over E3 this year, so I know there's a lot of questions regarding some of the things that we revealed. And we also took some questions from a forum post from our wonderful community member, B-Chaps, who actually compiled together a bunch of questions, so we'll be answering those as well. So without further ado, the wonderful, I'm gonna
Oh, look at the camera moves.
wow.
That dolly roll
Wow, look
between
at
cameraman
that.
now. God,
It
I
is
have two.
Ron.
I tell you, we're one.
I will try and sit closer to him so it's
So-
at least like not you doing this the whole podcast.
We're one camera away from a sitcom. Like,
I
you
know.
see the 3-camera sitcom we
And
did.
then someone's gonna walk into the place and trip over your bed.
Oh wait, I should cancel her. You're right.
And canceled.
And fired.
And sitcom canceled.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna jump right in. We're gonna, of course, the first question has to do with Horde 3.0.
No idea what you're talking about.
So David Mayhorn from Twitter.
That's a really normal sounding name.
I know it really is. Good job, David Mayhorn.
You're so unique. You could have
Can
your
you-
real name
Can you also put your social security number in your Twitter handle?
and fingerprints.
Does this with Horde 3.0? Does this mean a possible return of Ticker Tuesdays?
It's one of the things that's great about sort of the modern video game is that there's a lot of services and back-end things you can do. So there's definitely things like opportunities to create events and do interesting things with the game. So I can't promise Ticker Tuesdays, but that's not to say there won't be cool special events.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
I mean, part of it is there's no tickers in
Yeah, I know.
Gears
But
4, so
not
it's kinda
sure
hard
if
to
you,
have tickers.
not sure if you realize
No
that,
tickers,
David
tickers.
Mayhorn. The next one is from one of our forum moderators, Monty.
Shouldn't he know all this
One.
stuff already?
It's another Horde question. Is there any way you can go into more details about the classification system?
It's not really a classification. I mean, I guess, but we're not really sharing a lot of details of the class system right now. That's going to be what it needs more context to be completely understood. So, I mean, the big thing I've been saying about Horde, if you haven't already been watching on the other sort of Twitch and stuff, is just that understanding that, like, when I realized I was getting the chance to make Gears of War 4, the big thing for me was to kind of go back to a Horde that was more emergent. Like, what I loved about Gears of War 2 was that it was really up to you to decide where to do the fortifications and where, because really there weren't any fortifications. You were using a planted shield, or, if you knew the trick, the backwards planted shield, and planted grenades, and you're mounting mulchers on top of the shields to make turrets, and so it was really dynamic, and there was a lot of energy, and you felt like you were solving a problem, and every map was different. And whereas Gears 3, we were trying to make it more, enable the more online play where you didn't require communications and over a headset, because basically there's only certain places you could turn on the beginning of the fortifications and work together, and it was great, and I really still love playing the Gears 3 Horde, but it just felt like it lost a little something because it was a little bit too prescriptive. It felt like a tower defense game, and you were deciding to which fortifications to turn on or which ones to upgrade, so sort of inserting a coin into a vending machine. And so when I realized we were getting the chance to do Horde again, I really wanted to go back to that feeling of Gears 2, that feeling of emergent gameplay. And so, once again, Horde will be playable on all the multiplayer maps that are available, and that includes the 10 that are in the box plus the 2 a month we're going to be putting out. And you're going to be able to go and play in an emergent way. You're going to be able to go and build where you want to build. Once they're built, you can move them, you can repair them, you can reload them. Like, all that stuff can happen. You don't have to wait to just in between rounds. So there's a lot of stuff that's really more dynamic around how you deal with a particular map in a particular situation. And if the situation changes, you can move and reestablish things and those sorts of stuff. So to me, like, the big message, because we're really not digging deep into Horde yet, the real message is really about emergent gameplay and treating each multiplayer map more as a sandbox than a formula.
Cool. Awesome. Sounds good.
Thanks, Adam. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying what I desire most after
Yeah,
each answer.
yeah.
It's your
Here-
affirmation.
yeah, here's-
that
yeah,
you're happy
exactly.
with that answer.
Good job,
Oh,
Rod.
thank you, Adam. There's a biggie.
Next question is from sold at Renard. I'm sorry, I'm butchering these names.
Do you need glasses?
Soldat Renard. Okay, that's a great name. On Twitter, is the team considering new weapons post launch?
Again, we don't have the option, the ability to create content post launch is always an opportunity, whether it be new weapons or character skins or weapon skins or whatever. That's how we're doing new maps, and so there's always opportunities. But right now, we're really focused on just delivering the weapons that are at launch. So we've only revealed really 2 of them with the Buzzkill and Drop Shot in terms of new weapons. There's still obviously more than 2 in the Gears of War game, so there's lots more to come and see. So we're really focused on the time we have left as opposed to everything we're doing afterwards.
Okay.
Oh, great! No approval from Adams.
Yeah, no. I purposely did
That was
not
not
have
a
an
good
info.
one.
I
That
was
was a
like,
bad-
nope, done.
Bad answer.
Done. Next one is from Q Cali. Oh, there goes my computer. Q Cali AKP. Will there be weapon trading or ammo trading?
Yeah, weapon trading is definitely in. There's never ammo trading. There's like ammo giving, but so that's still be there. But yeah, the weapon trading is in. I was just using it recently. It was fun to give the AI guys weapons and stuff, and actually be able to more about taking their weapon. It's like, hey, Kate, notice you got that long shot. I'd like that. So, yes, there's definitely the ability to trade weapons within the game.
Cool. All right. And from Scott1025, Scott spelled Skot, because he's different. Or she's different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Will there? This is actually a question that's come up a lot over Twitter. I noticed this past week. Will there be Gears of War 4 competitive multiplayer crossplay between PC and Xbox One? If yes, will mouse and keyboard have an advantage?
Oh, so the answer is no. One of the things we're doing right now out of the gate is we're basically doing crossplay between Windows 10 and Xbox One through all the cooperative modes. So we have 2-player cooperative campaign. We have 5-player cooperative versus multiplayer, so you can play 5 humans on one team against 5 bots. And then obviously we have 5-player cooperative horde. So all those cooperative modes are able to be a mix and match between Windows 10 and Xbox One. And of course, we have split screen on Xbox One, so couch co-op on all that stuff too. So obviously co-op is a big deal, but crossplay is really cool. And separate, but sort of enhancing crossplay is the thing I announced on the stage on Monday, which is that we're one of the first titles to do the Xbox Play Anywhere initiative or program, which is this idea that if you buy the game digitally on one platform, let's say I buy the game digitally on Xbox One, I automatically get the Windows 10 for free digitally as well, and so therefore, and then on top of having now 2 copies of the game and I can play it wherever I want, it saves the progress and achievements across the platforms through Xbox Live. So you can start in your living room on your TV, and then you can go into your office and play on your PC, and it picks it up from where you left off. So it's one of the great things about being able to play where you want to play on what you want to play. So we're really excited about that.
Awesome. I will say that Lisa Malambry just jumped in here,
Hey, Lucy May.
and she says she can't hear anything, but she says you're looking fabulous.
Why, thank you, Lucy May. We can't hear anything. That's good. So hopefully it's because she's somewhere
She's somewhere on the show
on the
floor
show
right
floor, and
now.
not because our sound sucks.
So
But I'm trying to be all regal in my one hotel chair, and so you're not seeing my dirty bed behind me. So yes, thank you.
I have a question from Facebook Live. Hey, Facebook Live.
All the way
audience.
from England. No,
Yeah.
just kidding. Oh, sorry, it's just.
It's from Darren Irving. He said, "Will you be bringing back old maps like River and such to Gears of War 4?"
So that's one of the things we announced. We're doing curated maps for DLC. So that's one of the things, if you haven't already heard, is we're doing free maps for public play, and we're looking at delivering about 2 maps a month. So we're pretty much 24 new maps will come out the first year. So after the first year, there'll be 34 maps out there. Some of those maps will be new. Some of those maps will be what we call revisited, which are maps that are good in concept but maybe don't work anymore for team deathmatch. And then we have the the remastered, which are the older maps that we spruce up and put new art into, but it'd be the same layout. So there's a lot of great maps. Like one of my favorite maps of all time is Checkout. Not so much for Horde, but for Versus. So Checkout will be probably pretty early, but like for a Horde map, I loved Blood Drive. So those are maps that we'll definitely be bringing back. And so what's great is that people will get to play them publicly. Every time we release 2 new maps, they'll be free for public play. But you know, we don't want to create, like I said, 34 maps. You come to a year later and you have to try to consume 34 maps. It's too much. So what we're doing is we're creating sort of a pool of maps. Like, we haven't decided on the exact number. It could be 10, it could be 12, it could be 14. But we're going to have a pool of maps that are available always for free for public play. But as we add 2 new maps, then 2 other maps will fall off at some point. And, you know, kind of the Disney back in the vault, or if you think about Netflix, I'm not doing the pumpkin ravioli story again. And so if you think about Netflix and the way movies rotate in and other movies rotate out. And so one of the nice things about the season pass we have is that if you get the Ultimate Edition or if you get the season pass, then all the 24 maps that are released you'll get to own privately, so you'll be able to keep them no matter what. And so if, say, your favorite map checkout is going to rotate out of public play, but you still want to play Horde on it privately, or you still want to play Versus on it privately, you can just buy that map and then you own it. And what's nice is that only the host has to buy it. So you can still, you know, as a host, I can buy checkout and I can host 9 of my friends and they don't need to buy it. It was only just me. So, but again, all the maps are available for public play. So if you only want to play publicly, it doesn't cost you anything to get the additional 24 maps. But if you're like me and you like to play privately with friends, or if you want to play Horde, you know, again, as those maps start to rotate out, you want to be able to pick any of the 34 maps to play Horde on. I highly recommend the Seasons Pass. It's a great value. But otherwise, you can buy individually. If that one special map happens to be rotating out and you want it, you can buy it individually too.
All
Great.
right. Great.
Yes, the gallery goes crazy.
Great. Send hearts on Periscope, everyone. All right.
Nice.
Will there ever be a wingman again?
Will there ever be Wingman again? You know, that's one of the great things about. So, for those that don't know, Wingman is not in the box. It's not being part of the initial release. There's a disturbance in the force. I can feel it all growing. But one of the nice things about multiplayer and the idea of a service is that it doesn't, multiplayer, you know, taking care of multiplayer and creating features for multiplayer and enhancing multiplayer doesn't stop on release date. That doesn't stop on October 11th. And so Wingman is something we know is highly desired, as are other multiplayer features and other sort of esports features as well. And those are things that we're able to add over time. So is Wingman in the box? The answer is unfortunately no. Is Wingman gone forever? The answer is probably not. I mean, the desire is so high. We'd love to be able to bring that in, and just about finding the right way to do it.
All right. Next question is from Pope Adira 37th. You guys have great names. Irish Red Ale or IPA, and how many for a proper Horde 3.0 run?
Let's see. Well, first of all, not a big fan of the IPA, I have to say.
Me too.
Yeah, exactly. It's just way too hoppy. I mean, I can pretend to drink real man drinks. I drink Scotch, but I only drink Highland Scotch because I don't really like peat. So, I don't drink the Lafroy kind of the manly Scotch because nobody needs that much smoke in their drink. I like a good Highland Scotch, and the same thing with beer. I like beer, I don't like IPA beer. It's too hoppy. So I'm a Hefeweizen kind of guy. I like the wheat beers. Franz's Connor is probably one of my favorite beers. If you ever have access to that, you should try it. A Breckenridge Vanilla Porter is actually what we call creativity juice.
They were out yesterday.
And they were out
bar.
at the I almost flipped the table if it wasn't bolted
I was
down.
sad.
I
was really sad.
So for how long? Oh, I mean, it comes down to difficulty. 50 waves on hardcore is going to take some time. So, and how many people? So I'm assuming you maybe have 2 people at your place because you're doing split screen. So you probably need a dozen at least to get through that, or more. So yeah, it's. But I just played through 50 waves before I flew here, and it's really fun. And I love that feeling again of scrambling and being scrappy and feeling like I solved the problem because I'm deciding what to place and where to place it and whether I want to move it based on the situation and those sorts of things. So it's a lot of fun.
All right. Next question from Jesse LL. I know Jesse really well. Are there any plans to continue the story further through comics and novels?
We have nothing further to discuss at this moment about transmedia stuff, to use the buzzword. So, it's interesting, but, it's one of the things that I guess I could say something. It's about, really, when you're making a game, it's hard to do transmedia at the same time because, you cut a level or you make a decision or an actor does something that's really great that you want to use, and so you have to be really dynamic with the story. And even if you look at go back and look at the novels, like the novels came pretty late to the franchise just because the story was still sort of evolving and locking itself in. And so it's one of those things where when we're creating a new story with JD and Kate and Del and everything and the Swarm, it's hard to create a brand new game story and at the same time do brand new transmedia. We need to bake the game story a little bit more before we get into transmedia stuff.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
I have one question that I think might be kind of good. Sorry, the chat is going
Wow, you're
pretty
critical.
darn quick. No, I just want to slide. Where is it? Sorry.
Oh my God,
Well, you
Liam.
seem like scrolling the
So-
where is it? It was a
so-
while ago.
So Mark John Halpin, asked, will Gears of War 4 PC support mods?
Oh, that is not currently in the plans. But again, as you see with other games, there's a lot of stuff you can do post-release. But in terms of what we're focused on for October 11th, mods are not part of the October 11th plan.
All right. King Selt 09. Is there a way to add more blood splatter on the screen? I did not see much in the campaign when the wind hits.
So wait, you guys were so there's too much blood splatter in the beta. I just can't make anyone happy about the amount of blood splatter. So it's situational. Depends on what's happening. Depends what's going on. So it's something we're continuing to tune because you want it to feel visceral and in your face, but at the same time you don't want it to be where it blocks gameplay and makes it challenging to play. So we're continuing to tweak. It's one of those things we can change all the way up to the launch.
All right. Is the custom Gears of War 4 Elite controller only available on the Microsoft Store? I have it pre-ordered, but I'm curious if other options exist. This is that Solda Renard guy again.
Oh well, he got two in.
He got 2 in.
You're playing favorites.
I'm not playing favorites. He just put 2 in really quickly.
Okay. So yeah, there's the potential for opportunity for other retailers, but for the message I've been trying to get out there is being the very first, custom Elite controller. It's super limited, super limited. When we talk about single digit, available in a particular store, kind of limited. So I wouldn't wait to see if it's coming to another retailer. I would take wherever you can find it, and I believe that right now it's most easily found on the Microsoft Store. If you're at all interested, I would order it there instead of trying to wait for some particular moment in time, because you're going to find out it's going to be gone before you know it. I know this stuff's going to sell out really quickly just because we made so few of them. So if you're at all interested in this at all, if there's something about this for you, then I would hop on it today, honestly, because it could be gone tomorrow.
Noted. I wish I could.
Well, because you're periscoping, you can't.
I
go to
can't.
Microsoft
I
Store
can't.
and
Sorry, guys. Periscope over.
yeah, shutting down. I'm just gonna watch as my voice drops octaves as I continue to talk.
This one's from Chaotic. I'm going to assume it was Chaotic Knight as opposed to Coyote Knight, but maybe it is. I may have mistyped that.
Who are you to judge?
I know. I'm not judging anyone. I'm judging my typing skills. Any word on who will compose the soundtrack for Gears of War 4?
Stay tuned. That's something we'll be talking about at a later date.
No.
Although it is awesome to have it in my car and have the most intense commutes you could possibly have, is you're just driving, you just want to start ramming into people and stuff as you're listening to this orchestral thumping percussion coming through your car speakers. It's awesome.
People really like your socks.
Yeah, I've had the same thing.
Sorry.
Facebook is literally right now. It's just tell us about if there's a Carmine and your socks.
And
They're
your
the
socks.
two things that are constantly in my phone.
Sorry. Did not mean to show the socks. I didn't realize how we were framed up. I apologize for the socks.
Ricky D says, how hard was it for John DiMaggio to keep a lid on the return of his voice in Gears 4?
It was really hard. He was cursing me the whole time, and the number of direct messages I have over Twitter about, dude, it's killing me. I want to talk to people, and so yeah. So he's on day 3 now. He's been let out of prison, quote unquote, for 3 days to be able to say that he's actually in the game. So, but that's one of the things you hear about it in this industry all the time about voice actors who ruin surprises or ruin exclusives or give stuff away that the development team wish wasn't coming out. And so there are those types of actors that you kind of almost have to manage. You have to like not talk to them about certain things or don't share things with them. And that's one of the great things about the professionalism of the team that we have. And kudos to John for being able to hold on to that for as long as he has. And it allowed for it to have an impact and for it to resonate. If that had come out of John made some aside at some convention and kind of ruined it, it wouldn't have had the impact it had on Monday. So, that's just John's the consummate professional, and we have an amazing cast, and I can pretty much trust him with anything.
There's some questions regarding beta and visuals.
Sure.
I know that recently you had posted an image out there regarding the differences in visuals. Did you want to talk about that a little bit more?
Going rogue on my team, they're like, if you had asked us to do that, we could have made better pictures. I'm like, I saw it in a mail and I just wanted to put it out there, and so I went rogue. I didn't talk to PR or even our art director. But yeah, I mean, it's just like the thing I keep talking about is that I tried to make it really clear during the beta that we were actually pre-alpha. And so we were at a certain place in the project, but we were running new code. It's new matchmaking, new networking, new telemetry, new services. Like all these things were all new. But hark, hey, we should do this. Hey, there's a knock on the door.
All right, we're doing this.
By the way, if this is the escort I ordered, it's going to be really embarrassing. I told her not to show up till much later.
We are pausing for a quick second. While Rod gets
Josh
Kerwin, everybody, and Guy Welch.
Let's welcome them to the Rodcast.
And Rod's bed.
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah,
We'll have to climb in together. It's the rule of the podcast.
So, we're just finishing. So Guy Welch and Josh Kerwin are the marketing. I noticed, I stood in front of you and you didn't raise the camera at him. So basically, for that whole 3 seconds, there's nothing but my crotch.
Oh no, I turned it over to them. I promise.
So I was just saying, so I guess we're making this last question. Is that a meeting with marketing?
Yeah, sure. Or let's. Can you give us 5 minutes? Or you have a call?
Yeah,
We doing?
5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 minutes, guys.
We'll be back.
5
Take
minutes.
your time.
5 minutes.
They don't know what they walked into. They're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So the thing is that we, because we had to test all this code, we had to do the beta, quote unquote, early so that we could get the, when you're building a game inside a studio, especially a multiplayer game, you're getting 1,000 people. You can do friends and family, you can do within the company, but trying to coordinate a bunch of people to come together to do it at scale is really hard. So you have to get that stuff out earlier so you actually have time to fix it. If you see somebody say within 5 weeks, if somebody puts out a beta within 5 weeks of their launch date, it's not really a beta. It's a
demo.
It's a demo. It's meant to do marketing. It's not there to improve the product. It's there to get the product out there, sort of a free sample, go try it. But they don't want to call it a demo, because if they call it a demo, your expectation is that it's done. But if they call it a beta, then even if they do find a bug, they can go well, of course it's a bug, it's pre-release. But if it's within 5 weeks, it's not pre-release. It's already been sent to certification, and it's probably already been sent to manufacturing. But for us, it was okay, we need time to address. And so let's think about why we had a 2-week beta. 2 weeks is a long time for beta. It's a very team distracting. But the thing is, if you don't, you don't know how it's going to go. And so if it goes great, then you really want to do a weekend. You want 1 weekend. But if it goes poorly, you want time to address and get things back up and try a few things. And so you never know. And so we hedged and said hey, let's go with 2 weeks so that we have time to react to problems if we have them. And we had some. We had to do some back end fixes and those sorts of things. But what you saw was just an early version of the product. And you saw that basically after 4, maybe 5 weeks worth of changes to the game, got the visuals that were in my tweet. And so we're continuing to improve the art. We're continuing to improve the lighting, improving the textures, and that's just one of those things, right? You also have to recognize there's a zero game development is kind of a zero-sum game. There's the way you get high frame rate. Everybody's I love 60 hertz. I love 60 frames per second. But I want it to look like a 30 frames per second game, and it can't do that. There's certain things you have to trade off. It's the same thing when you watch a game that does split screen. A split screen game has to render twice, and so it's not going to look like even it has to go. You have to turn it down again to be able to render in those 2 windows, and so everything comes at a price. Motion blur comes at a price. Depth of field comes at a price. All the post processing. all the stuff, anti-aliasing, all this stuff comes at a price. And so to get the best visuals you could possibly get comes at a price. And so you have to make trade-offs. But where we were early in development, we made some trade-offs, and we got the feedback and the learnings and what we wanted and the balance we wanted out of multiplayer. And now what we're able to do is, now that that stuff's behind us, really focused on making the most highly polished and the best visuals we can at 60 frames. And so that's what we're doing. And I think you can see the improvement already.
Yep. And if you guys are curious to know what image Rod is talking about, check out his Twitter at GearsViking. He posted an image.
It's not pinned anymore, though.
He posted an image, and you can see his recent images and find one. I think it was about a couple weeks ago where he had a good comparison. Yeah, the beta May 31st image. So, and you guys can see some of the visual improvements that the awesome team back in Vancouver.
The coalition rocking
rocking it out. We're gonna lightning round the next few questions to get them in before the last 5 minutes. So where can I get the new Horde T-shirt you had on yesterday?
Nowhere. That was custom made because we had just come up with the Horde icon as part of the stage presentation. We're doing icons now for all the game modes. You saw the dodgeball T-shirt at the e-store, and so they were like, oh, when you say Horde on the stage, you want to put an icon up behind you to represent it. And so we made an icon really quickly. I'm like, well, now that we have an icon, I want a T-shirt. So I actually had the executive assistant at the coalition go and make enough T-shirts for the people that are coming down here to wear after Monday. So those are custom made, so they're not available anywhere. But I'm sure, much like the dodgeball one, and
Yes.
Sarah will want to have a Horde T-shirt. I think.
Yes, we will. We will probably have a Horde T-shirt soon, so I would expect it soon. Hey,
From Facebook quickly. Josh LaRue asks, will there be another beta?
Will there be another public beta? Highly unlikely. We're down to we're getting close to finishing now. So this is, like, as I said earlier, betas are super distracting, and again, we're getting to the point where it's going to be hard to really fully, we got all the feedback and we reacted to it, so we just don't really have time to go for another round of feedback, react to all of that without potentially compromising our dates. So we feel really confident about what we're doing and going into October 11th. And the nice thing about a service, we can improve it after release. So, but I feel good at what we did with the first beta. So there will not be a second one.
Quick question I say everything's a quick question. Hey Rod, will we learn more about Sarah and how things have changed over time between Gears 3 and 4 leading up to release?
A little bit. You will learn a little bit. I mean, part of it is, it's an opportunity to explore in other ways, and so that's some of the things that we use the term negative space. Negative space is a thing that we use to say, like, hey, this is a piece of the story that is important, but it's not something that we need to lock down today. And so that's something where we go, hey, there's an opportunity to go explore that, whether it be within a game, within transmedia, or whatever it may be. So. We know what happened during those times, but that's something we're going to try to explore later on.
Okay. Will we see any swarm weapons in the game?
No comment.
All right. Will split screen have the black bars like Ultimate Edition or full screen?
It'll have the black bars like Ultimate Edition because it actually turns out to be a better perspective. So it's a truer 16:9 perspective, which makes it actually a better experience than when you just take the screen and split it in half. You actually get an FOV that's not quite accurate. So we actually like what they call, I think it's called, it's a pillar view where you put black bars down the sides, and actually makes for a better, presentation of split screen.
All right, and we'll finish it off with one last question.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. It's from the Razored Edge. He's a huge fan.
Yes.
Is Horde bigger, better, and more badass than before?
We're not saying that ever again. As much as I like alliteration. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. Like I said, I think one of the big things, that idea of it's all about how you decide to solve the problem, where you decide to set up, the fact that, we've been playing on maps that are typically, like in the old, Gears 3 time frame, you would feel like is not a good Horde map, but under the new system is actually a really successful and fun Horde map. So that's what I'm really excited about, is the fact that it's actually going to broaden the maps that work well with Horde. There'll be more of them than there have ever been before.
Alrighty. So just a heads up to everyone, this will be archived.
What?
I know. all your answers are forever logged in.
on the internet.
Oh no. And they will be archived on Facebook Live and on Periscope. And we plan on doing more and additional Rodcasts in the future.
Maybe with fewer cameras? No.
We
need
need
more
more
people with
cameras.
phones.
In fact, we'll probably invite Jack to the next one, and then Jack will use her BlackBerry. But wait, that doesn't work because BlackBerry. Zing.
We can talk with Jack about Pokemon. And
Yeah, and we can talk to Jack about Pokemon and how she loves it so much. So
I know,
that's
that's
perfect.
pretty
Yeah, I really wish shut up at the office.
All right. Alrighty. Thank you guys again. Say bye, Rod.
Bye, both Facebook and
then,
Periscope.
the other thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to say bye from. There's
you
Liam.
later,
There's
guys.
Octus. There's Octus.
Hey, what's up?
I should do it on
that way as well.
So yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate
I'm going
it.
to
Yeah.
infinite camera.
Yeah, oh god, now we just keep doing this over and over. All right.
Bye,
Thank you guys.
Bye, everybody.